Gonna do a little bit of an update. I'm not sure who all is watching, but gonna talk a little bit about my experiences. Maybe this sounds familiar to you or something. Also, let me know. A lot of times, I'll have these nights where I'm just sitting in bed, waiting to fall asleep, and suddenly I'll just get this profound vision of life and what I need to do to make it all better. And a lot of times, I get incredibly motivated and feel excitement for when I can wake up and get to work and act on some of the thoughts that I had and make progress. And sometimes the very thoughts of this keeps me awake. And the needed solutions for my life feel incredibly clear and even reasonable. And then I wake up the next day, and suddenly all the positive energy and motivation is just completely depleted. And what felt reasonable before falling asleep suddenly feels insurmountable. I believe I've talked about it before, but this past year's been kind of rough on me. It's included a battle with depression. Tasks that, used to feel easy have been really challenging. This includes tasks like even waking up at a certain hour or sticking to a healthy diet. And even doing tasks on MKC can be a struggle too. Or I'll have something required of me, and when I read the text, it all just blurs. And I want to be able to sit here and stream and talk about MK, but I just can't do that until I'm just better. Every once in a while, I'll get a few steps into a recovery plan. I'll get incredibly motivated and I'll start the steps. And it feels like I have no patience for actually establishing this rhythm, unfortunately. And I need new things to stimulate the mind and stuff. But once a pattern gets old, I just naturally lose interest or I can't stick to it. And a lot of these problems I think can be traced back to an inconsistent internal clock. The morning is a time of productivity that I frequently just miss out on. And when I'll try to get up early and have days where I can, get ahead, and I end up having to fight myself to get out of bed, and sometimes I fail to do that. I rarely can be productive because, I'm just tired even when I do wake up, and in the mid-afternoon lots of days, I just want to nap. And if I nap, my sleep schedule gets messed up harder, and if I don't, I feel like I can't do anything. And to make matters worse, for some reason, when I actually want to go to sleep on these days, I always seem to get a burst of energy. And I think it has to be because of, circadian rhythm and all that kind of stuff. So giving up is just the easiest option these days. And even if I usually don't, all it takes is one day to break a good habit. And eventually I'll snap. And when I do, it's all back to square one. So the question, how many times am I just going to lie to myself about thinking that next time will be different, laying down in bed, thinking, all right, tomorrow's going to be the day. But how many times are you going to lie to yourself, right? It's like you keep having these thoughts and you have them again in the future for a reason. It's because you don't actually act. And this is what messes with me because, the more failures you have, the harder it becomes. I have all the motivation I need. I understand what the problems are. I believe I understand the solutions as well. But unlike many people in my shoes, I don't have like self-hatred or anything. I even have some self-love. And I know that I'm trying. I just feel incapable of executing the plan when I have to. And that is just the worst feeling. Feelings of unproductivity just consume me. Sometimes that makes it worse. Sometimes I'm questioned by people close to me if I even care. Or if I even want to do the work I've signed up for. And sometimes I just can't. And it's not because I don't want to. Judgment is something that I think affects me. Not in a way where I can't handle criticism, but in a way where I just feel kind of misunderstood at times. I don't worry about people who clearly have bad intentions that just want to knock you down and stuff and push you over. Like when those people talk you down, it's like, yeah, whatever. There's some battles that you aren't going to win because you can never do enough to win some people over. But what gets me down is when there are people that you feel are close enough to you that question your passion for something. The people that you feel are supposed to be in your corner. Then it feels like there's just no faith or belief in yourself. And I've unfortunately grown up in a few situations, where people around me have questioned or even jeered at me for hobbies or choice of friends, tendencies. And it amazes me that people are willing to say certain things in private sometimes. And it amazes me even further that some people don't actually check to see who's even around when they say stuff at times. Most of the times these types of conversations happen is due to a lack of understanding of others, and that just sucks. I think in most of my friend groups, I tend to be, the subject of a lot of like jokes and all that kind of stuff. And I want to believe it's because I'm decently outgoing and can take it, but at times I have my doubts, even in the few cases where I'm reassured that I am valued. Fact is, I'm the common denominator in a lot of these situations, and sometimes I wonder if this is just a part of myself that I need to fix. But maybe there is nothing wrong with this in reality, because I'm just being myself, and think it'd be wrong myself to just change myself just because of the expectation of others. When I think about the situation more, I realize that there's no exact way to know how to improve yourself. Other people know your faults better than you typically do. And, yeah, this means it's probably unproductive to think about things like this, and I should just focus on what I feel is best for myself and to block the outside noise. I'm a flawed person, Considering I have a lot of the same issues a year ago, I think it's pretty clear that I have work to do, and I understand that. But, instead of focusing on what I feel society expects, I'm just going to do it my own way and hope that I can figure it out. Currently, I'm in the midst of a new attempt at recovery. This time, it's going to be different, right? It's got to be different. Because it has to be. Nothing severely wrong. So it may sound weird for me to do a post or an update like this, but this is the exact root of the problem. Because as long as I don't absolutely have to make progress, I can slip up and prevent progress from happening without consequence. So this week, I'm forcing myself to try a new schedule. I'm meeting up with a friend in the mornings now, and I'm playing music with him. I drum, if you don't know, or I used to at least. And it's fun to get back into. And drumming and stuff isn't some end game for me, but I'm meeting a friend now in the mornings. I'm not trying to be a drummer or anything, but the point is I need to force structure into my life until I have, a legitimate one, which is hopefully working full time soon. I've been incredibly tired since I've started this. I've been waking up actually in the mornings and not letting myself go back to bed regardless of how tired I am, not letting myself nap. And it's put me into a state that makes streaming pretty difficult, which is why I'm not doing it this week. And maybe next week. We'll see. I randomly just feel like collapsing, because I'm tired. And I just want to focus on myself. And that starts with forcing structure back into my life and allowing myself to consistently be productive again. Namely in the mornings, the time I feel like where productivity is naturally the highest. And once I feel the rhythms established, I'll get back to the fun stuff. So with this being said, this is pretty much everything. Thanks to everybody that sends me good vibes and everything. I appreciate y'all. I have some potentially good, fun ideas in the future, but I think I need to get a little bit better first and establish a rhythm, right? And I think I don't think it's going to take forever. Don't think it's going to even take that long. I just can't have any days where I mess up, and I'm in the early stages right now, and this whole rhythm thing will get easier with time. So I just want to make sure that it's as easy as possible for me to stick to a new routine, not put a lot of pressure on myself, whether that's streaming or content creation, etc. But yeah, I like to do some updates in the future and all of that. Talk about games and stuff like normal. Maybe we'll do something weekly, maybe a weekly discussion about current events, etc. Stuff that affects you and me. But we'll find out then. But expect updates what's to come on my Discord. Link in the description as always. I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.